for the first time. All right, all right, all right. Right now, I want you to take your cameras out. Come join me at the front of the boat. In a moment, another 40 minutes or so, those Riverside gates will be completely closed. And we're gonna watch these lakeside gates crack open. But another thing that I want you to pay attention to, if you're up top with me, look to your left. Notice that watermark alongside the wall, giving you an estimate as to how high this vessel will rise up today, about 4 or 5 feet. And a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that there is zero standing on any of the seats or the benches. Now those Riverside gates just closed.
While we're waiting for this to fill up, this should take us maybe about 8 to 10, give or take a few minutes in either direction. While we get off the break, we can go to the break. Find break as well. During this break, it's an excellent time to get some pictures.
Michigan.
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite things about being a tour guide is that randomly I love to do just a little bit of trivia. Here's your first question. I mentioned the 5 Great Lakes make up 20% of fresh water in the world. Can anyone name the largest freshwater lake in the world? Anyone know the name of it? Lake Baikal is correct, sir. Now, Lake Baikal is located in Siberia, accounts for 20% of fresh water in the world. Combine that with the 5 Great Lakes, that is 40% of fresh water in Chicago. Very fortunate to have Lake Michigan at our doorstep. It's why we needed to reverse the flow of the river to stop polluting Lake Michigan. From where we are to where you're noticing the lighthouse, lake's only about 25 feet deep. Once you pass the lighthouse, it does gradually. Every 5 or 6 blocks or so, you will notice a different park. Closed within the downtown area, a company like a dog park. Ladies and gentlemen, you're new to a city, you want to meet people, get a dog. Go to the dog park at 7 in the morning, you'll meet a bunch of people. How do I know? I just adopted an English Bulldog and met 50 people last week. And behind the trees, you're going to find the Jardine filtration plant named after our first sheep water engineer, James W. Jardine. Every day here in Chicago, we filter about 1 billion gallons of water. It's for the population of 2.7 million people in our 270 surrounding suburban neighborhoods, which puts us at about 10 million people in the Chicagoland area. And Chicago's 3rd largest in population, only behind New York and Los Angeles. But what city is projected to take us over in population in the next 10 years? Houston, Texas is correct. Sitting at about 2.3 million right now. And who's moving to Texas? Southern Californians. Black triangle. And those X-races alongside the building keep it from twisting and turning. The building to its right, with the blue windows, or the mint windows, that's Bloomingdale's. The white box structure to its left, Water Tower Place. Named after the water tower that survived the Great Chicago Fire in 1871. Home to retail space and condominium units. Oprah Winfrey had a few units there when living in Chicago. And currently, we're on Lake Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, look in front of us to your left. where you see the recreational boaters, is known as the playpen area. You wait another hour or so, there will be over 8,000 vessels in this area. Why? Chicago gets about 4 months of summer. We turn it to Miami. Now, the strip with all the cars, that's Lakeshore Drive. Behind it, one of the many neighborhoods here in the city. It's the Gold Coast neighborhood. Towards the dock, you've got the Mad Mart, Chartier Drive. Here, maybe here in Streeterville, and I always recommend you have time, head north on Lakeshore, visit Lincoln Park. Home to our Lincoln Park Zoo, one of 5 free zoos in the U.S. You gotta take advantage of the free opportunities while you're visiting us here in the city of Chicago. And it also brings me to another point. You may notice we've got a lot of uninterrupted lakefront access due to a man named Montgomery Ward. Anyone on the boat today remember Montgomery Ward? Now, for all of the children on the boat today who do not remember Montgomery Ward, he was a major catalog baron in the 19th century. Essentially, he was Amazon before Amazon. He just got everything that you wanted out of these thick catalog books. But get this, kids, you had to do something extremely terrifying. You had to get on the phone and talk to a live human being. And we're deeply indebted to Mr. Ward because he saved Chicago's front yard. Today, it's Graham Paul. He's the reason why we have over 26 miles of uninterrupted lakefront access.
What?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to do is look to your 1 o'clock. You're going to notice the ending of those trees to the right, a structure. The farthest that we can see on this tour facing north, what we are noticing is Northwestern's campus. If you've ever visited those painted rocks in Northwestern, you may have noticed you can see the city of Chicago's downtown skyline. Now, also closest to us, to your right, you're noticing that concrete wall that's known as a brick wall. Keeps the harsher currents from coming inland. As I mentioned, cribs. They hide our water intake pipes. Every week we ship a 4-man crew to live out there and maintain the pipes. Which sends the water in Chicago, so I do expect it to get just a little bit warmer than last year. We've had a ton of 90-degree days here in the city of Chicago. Now, we're going to make a spin and we're going to head towards the south side of the lake. So we're going to take another quick and short break, ladies and gentlemen. I'll stroll around to see if you have any questions. To its right, you're going to find Millennium Park, home to the Bean. Who's visited the Bean? Who can tell me the actual name of the Bean? Cloud Gate is correct. Name of the sculptor is Janice Kapoor. And ladies and gentlemen, on top of the building, it's because we do more trading than any other city in the U.S. We just trade all of your agriculture. But I want to talk about the building to its right, the tallest building in the world upon its completion in 1974. As the Sears Tower, now known as the Willis Tower. Standing at 1,454 feet tall, 442 meters, 110 stories. Completed and bundled to new construction. Ladies and gentlemen, you see the building is essentially 9 separate boxes bundled together at varying heights. This is to help with the structural integrity. A lot of people guess KC, Kansas City, or Springfield. I got one more. McDonald's. Started right here in Des Plaines, Illinois. Typically, the arches for McDonald's are yellow. In what city are they not yellow but teal? Sedona, Arizona is correct. You've got a good group. Why? To match the landscape. They only get a chance to choose from different shades of teal or green.
Oh, wow.
What was the original filling of a Hostess Twinkie? Not jelly. Not peanut butter. Not marshmallow. Banana cream is correct. What's a Twinkie filled with today? No one knows. What's the most recognized logo in the world?
Nike.
Coca-Cola is
Oh.
correct. What's second?
Nike?
McDonald's in those golden arches. What's third? Nike. Last week, someone shouted out Arby's.
I gave up too quick.
Who's keeping Arby's open? And what's fourth?
4, probably Pepsi. Or FIFA.
That's a new one. And what's fourth? It's Apple.
Oh,
Apple.
okay.
A few more questions. You get them right, you get to get off of the boat. Things are going to get a little bit tougher. Here's a two-part question. I've only had a couple people get it correct. What was the first item scanned by barcode?
The barcode? The barcode itself. They had to test it before they put it on something.
First item scanned by barcode. Wrigley's chewing gum
Oh.
is correct. What flavor?
Banana?
I'm hearing two separate answers. Raise your hand if you think it's juicy fruit. Raise your hand if you think it's spearmint.
Oh, Spearmint.
Ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer is juicy fruits. Juicy fruit. What state has produced the most astronauts? Ohio, OH.
No, there's nothing to do there anyway.
Found one of you. There we go. What university has produced the most astronauts? Purdue, Boilermakers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The state of Illinois has produced 4 presidents. Only one was born here. What's his name?
Lincoln? No, Lincoln wasn't born.
Ronald Reagan is correct.
Oh, wow.
Who is the only president to be sworn in by a lady? You may ask yourself, how do I know all of this stuff? We just had a pandemic. I had time. Who is the only president to be sworn in by a lady? Lyndon B. Johnson is correct on the plane.
Oh, yeah, on the plane.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Who is the only president to be in office and not have a first lady?
Is it Taft?
James Buchanan is correct.
Oh, okay.
All right, I got one more. Who is the only president to not speak English as his first language? Sir, who are you? Martin Van Buren is correct. Language? Dutch. Dutch.
Oh, yeah.
And what state has produced the most presidents?
California?
Oh, let's do it again. Who thinks Ohio? Found living underneath that bridge. A homeless man named Rich Dorsey built himself a 9x9 apartment made out of wood underneath that bridge. Decided for himself a Super Bowl party.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, look up Richard Dorsey. Lived underneath that bridge for 3 years. Riverviews 1 and 2 to your right by James Stefano in 2001 and 2006. 1 bedroom here starts at close to about $2 million. Townhome 5 to 9. In the penthouse, 2 floors, listed at close to about $15 million. Ladies and gentlemen, the population of tour guides in these 2 buildings is very low. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to find the Sheraton Hotel by Solomon Coyle and Benz in 1992. 4th largest hotel here in the city, where all of the presidents stayed when visiting Chicago. It's most easily blocked off for public access. Also home to a ballroom about 40,000 square feet. That is the size of a football field. Can host a party of about 4,000 people here.
Oh, wow.
And as we're clearing it, start to look off into your 1 o'clock. You'll find the building coming into view with an onion-shaped dome on the top. That's the Hotel Intercontinental. And you notice in the structure behind the dome, that's known as a parapet. We were going to use it to load and offload airships, and then the Hindenburg happened. Have a good day. People love to wave at you when you're on a boat. But We're going to clear the bridge, and if you visited Rockefeller Center in New York City, to our right, you're going to find the centerpiece. This is our NBC Tower by Skidmore, Owings and Merrill. Also, it's where we used to film the Jerry Springer Show. Weekdays will never be the same. That green glass building is the Gleacher Center, University of Chicago's downtown campus, home to 27 classrooms we can't see. Behind stone walls on the west side of the building, Dirk Lohan said students should not be gazing outside the windows. They should be inside studying and learning. And he may have been on to something. Schools produced over 90 Nobel Prize winners, second only to Harvard. And ladies and gentlemen, you have an Apple iPhone. Take your phones out. Take a photo of the Apple Store to your right. By a British architect, Lord Norman Foster. Each and every one of those floor-to-ceiling windows costs approximately $550,000. And
wow.
ladies and gentlemen, this Apple Store is conveniently located in a place where you can buy your Apple phone and drop it in the river the same day. You'll look behind the Chicago Tribune by Raymond Hood and Jarmeen Howe, part of a contest to see who built the most beautiful office building. Over 250 inches. Second tallest building in the city, Trump International Hotel and Tower, by Adrian Smith in 2009, standing at 1,362 feet tall, home to 472 condominiums, a 5-star restaurant, and a 5-star hotel. You've heard of the tallest building in the world. The Burj Khalifa stands at 2,722 feet. You look to the top of Trump Towers, stack another Trump Towers on top of it. It'll equal the same height of the Burj Khalifa. And ladies and gentlemen, the penthouse here sold last summer for about $25 million. To a family in the suburbs, it's their second home. You've ever seen the film The Dark Knight, and you're going to the Indian fight sequence with the Joker, and the building's still being constructed? It's happening in Trump Towers. Black box structure to your right, AMA Plaza, formerly known as the IBM building, by a German architect in 1971, Mies van der Rohe. Completed in his international style of architecture, believing there should be zero ornamentation alongside his buildings, philosophy, less is more. The only ornamentation for the building is the IBs, also believe in form and functionality. And it's base home to the Langham Hotel. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to clear the bridge and not find any right angles in the two buildings. And when Bertrick Goldberg was going to construct the buildings, please made a roll call and he asked, "Are you seriously going to put these two buildings up next to mine?" Replied, "Yes, this was the last they ever spoke to each other." When you walk into your apartment here, extremely narrow, widens as you walk. They're just not engaged. Congratulations! Now, a lot of people typically think the river is green due to the fact that we died on St. Patrick's Day, but this isn't the case. The river's green because it's a clay-based river and it mixes with the lake water and algae. On St. Patrick's Day, we use 40 pounds of orange vegetable dye. Turns the river a bright belly green. Off into our right, red brick building, the Reed Murdoch Center. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not the party boat. They're going to learn nothing about architecture. The Reed Murdoch Center by George Nimmons in 1914, sheathed in that red brick. And ladies and gentlemen, it was originally a warehouse, now home to 2 restaurants, condominium office space, Whirlpool, Encyclopedia Britannica. After the bridge, 300 Northwest, designed in the Art Deco style of architecture. Art Deco buildings typically have the geometrical ornamentations, vertical lines working your eyes up, and setbacks at the top. This was the largest concrete structure in the world when it opened. Today it's only second to what building? The Pentagon is correct, sir. The building sits on 5 city blocks. It is 4.25 million square feet of space. Up into the year 1996, the building had its own zip code, 60654. And by the way, it sold to the Kennedys in 1945 for about $13 million in back taxes. In 98, the Kennedys sold the building for $575 million. Wolf Point is to our right, and it's where we get our name, Chicago. Locals were in the tavern and they raised the tinker. What are we gonna call this place? Came up with the name Chicago based off the words they heard the natives using. Chicago, not knowing that it translated into wild, smelly onions. Notice the building in front of us looks as though it's been built upside down. 150 North Riverside by Gash has to be built this way. It's over active switching tracks. Base of that building, 40 feet wide as the vessel, the Lucia, we're on today. Blown east by the wind, $160,000 of water goes to the west end of the building. All computer automated. Green Glass Buildings 333 West Wacker voted the most beautiful building alongside the river. And notice how the building bends with the natural bend of the river. That's known as contextualism, when a building adapts to the natural side of topography that it is on. That glass bench about 365 feet. But ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever seen the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and you remember the scene when Ferris Bueller's dad was down to the parade, he's doing it from 333 West Wacker Drive here. Parade scene a few blocks out of the on State Street at Great Street, and to be completely honest, I'm only halfway through that movie. Terrible movie, better with TV, just started Succession of the Sopranos. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start saying eye level and find this camera project, catch and release. But you'll notice the building above it, 225 West Wacker. Look to the top of the building. You're noticing a bridge connecting its east and west side, paying homage to the 37 Bascule Trunnion bridges here in Chicago. Bascule translates into seesaw in French. The bridges in Chicago are very well balanced. Weigh about 1,000 tons, take 98 horsepower to open, which they do every Wednesday and Saturday mornings in May and October to let the sailboats through. And by the way, Chicago has more opening bridges than any other city in the United States. Pittsburgh may have more bridges than us, they do not all open. Quality over quantity. One city in the world does have more opening bridges than Chicago. Can you name it? Amsterdam. It's Chigiano's Campanale, atop of Forest Cathedral, resembling a bell tower. Now, looking at the next building with the silver bars inserted into the windows, those are known as mullions. They reflect sunlight into the building. 35 West Wacker, home to the Leo Burnett Advertising Agency. Same agency. And the structure at its top, architecturally, it's known as a Belvedere. But directing your attention in front of the boat to the right of the London House, skinny white skyscraper, Maverick Tower, tallest building in the world, for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to finish the tour with the most iconic building here in Chicago. In front of us to the left, the Wrigley Building, completed in 1924 by Rainiers and Post in white, clad in 6 white shades of glazed terracotta, over 250,000 pieces on the building. First building erected north of Michigan.